What if I told you she never really left? You believe she's gone. You think she's moved forward, finding happiness with someone new, while you're left behind in the shadows. But let me ask you something. Who truly holds the power here? Is it the one who obsesses, overanalyzes, and tortures himself with endless what-ifs? Or is it the one who walks away without hesitation? Right now, you feel betrayed. It's like she took a part of you with her. Like everything you shared is now nothing more than a fading memory. And the worst part, you think she never cared. But let me tell you something. You never really lost her, because she was never yours in the first place. She was only a reflection of your attachment, a projection of what you desired. And now that she's with someone else, you've convinced yourself it means you weren't good enough, that you failed, that he has something you don't. But what if I told you, the second you stop caring, she starts second-guessing everything? What if I told you, the only way to win this game is to refuse to play at all? See, pain isn't real. It only feels real because you convinced yourself she was the prize, that she was the end goal, that she was the reward. But that was never the truth. The real reward, it's the man you become when you stop chasing, when you stop needing, when you start living like you were born untouchable. Because when you master detachment, when you embrace true emotional control, you stop being the guy who waits. You become the one she remembers, the one she lost. This was never about her. It was always about you. And by the time we're done here, you won't just move on. You'll become the kind of man she could never forget. 1. The illusion of loss. Why she left isn't what you think. She left you. Or at least, that's what you think. But what if I told you she didn't walk away from you? She left the version of you that no longer excited her. Here's the reality. People don't abandon what they truly value. They only walk away when they feel like there's nothing left to uncover. Right now, you think she moved on because she found something better. That's a lie. She didn't leave because you lacked something. She left because she thought she had you figured out. The moment she felt certain, the moment she believed she knew everything about you, that's when her curiosity disappeared. Attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about mystery, unpredictability, that feeling that there's always something more to discover. But when you laid your heart out, when you gave her all your emotions, she stopped wondering about you. She had you. And to her, that meant there was nothing left to chase. Now, she's with someone else. Not because he's superior. Not because he's more successful. Not because he's more attractive. But because, for now, he's an unknown. And here's where most men make the biggest mistake. They spiral. They beg. They try to prove their worth, thinking that if they just remind her of what they had, she'll come back. But that's not how this works. The second you start seeking her validation, you confirm she made the right choice in leaving. She doesn't miss the guy who waits at the door. She misses the one who disappears completely, the one she can no longer predict. So hear me loud and clear. She didn't leave you. She left the version of you that she thought had nothing more to offer. So now you have a choice. Stay broken and prove her right, or evolve into the man she never saw coming. 2. Emotional detachment, the key to true power. Right now, she controls you. Not physically, not even in reality, but in your mind. Every thought, every sleepless night, every time you check her social media, just to see if she's doing fine without you. You're giving her power. And the worst part, she doesn't even have to do anything. Your own emotions are keeping you stuck. And the more you let them take over, the weaker you become. But let me tell you something. Power belongs to the man who feels nothing. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop allowing her presence or her absence to dictate your peace, that's when you take control back. This is the foundation of emotional mastery. To remain unshaken. To let the world do what it wants while you remain steady. Do you think the strongest men in history wasted time mourning over a woman who walked away? No. They understood something most men never will. Emotions are like storms. Chaotic, temporary, and only destructive if you let them pull you in. She expects you to break. She expects you to be weak. She expects you to show that she mattered more than yourself. And the second you do, you confirm everything she believed when she left. But what happens when you don't react? When she looks at you and sees a man who isn't affected, who isn't desperate, who doesn't even acknowledge her absence? That's when the power shifts. That's when she starts to wonder, did I make a mistake? Understand this. Emotional detachment isn't about faking it. It's about reaching a level of self-mastery where nothing outside of you can shake your foundation. And when you get there, you won't just make her regret leaving. You'll become untouchable. 3. Attraction through indifference. The dark psychology of desire. What happens when you stop caring? When you stop checking in? When you stop wondering? When you stop waiting? It's simple. She starts noticing. Because nothing is more powerful, more unsettling, more intoxicating than indifference. Right now, she thinks she still has you. Even if she's with someone else, deep down, she knows that if she ever wanted to come back, you'd still be waiting. That's why she's not thinking about you. That's why she's not chasing you. But when she feels your absence, when she senses that she no longer has control over you, that's when everything changes. People always want what they can't have. It's in our nature. Our minds are wired to chase what's slipping away, to desire what seems out of reach. And when you were desperate for her, you became predictable. You became ordinary. But now, you're something different, something she doesn't understand. You're not texting, not reaching out, not reacting. And that silence, that emptiness where she once found validation, it will begin to eat away at her. She'll test you. Maybe she'll post something just to see if you'll notice. Maybe she'll send you a random message, something meaningless, just to check if she still has power over you. Here's where most men mess up. They fall for it. They think, this is my chance. They respond too quickly, too eagerly. And just like that, the power shifts away. But not you. Not anymore. Because a man who understands this knows one thing. The only real response is no response at all. Indifference. It's the ultimate attraction tool. It makes her question. It makes her doubt. It makes her chase. But only if you're strong enough to stay silent, to walk away, to build a life so fulfilling that she no longer exists in your world. That's when she regrets leaving. That's when she starts craving the man you've become. 4. The power of absence. Becoming the man she can't forget. You think she's forgotten about you. You think she's moved on, completely uninterested in your life. But let me tell you something. Women never truly forget the men who make a lasting impact. Right now, she's not reaching out, not because she's moved on, but because she believes she still has you under her control. She's convinced that if she ever changes her mind, she can always come back, and you'll be right there waiting. But the moment she realizes you've truly disappeared, that's when doubt starts to creep in. Absence is a powerful thing. It makes people fill in the blanks, makes them wonder, makes them question. And humans, we hate unanswered questions. Right now, she's feeling sure of her decision. But when she notices that you're not watching, not liking, not responding, she'll start to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Why does it seem like he's moved on so easily? Did I misjudge him? And that one little crack in her certainty, that's all it takes to plant the seed of regret. But most men can't do this. They panic. They think, if I disappear, she'll forget me. So they lurk. They leave breadcrumbs, Likes, comments, indirect messages, hoping she'll notice. But that's weakness. That's insecurity. The truly unforgettable men are the ones who vanish. The ones who walk away with such quiet certainty that it leaves an empty space where they used to be. And that space, that void, it will haunt her. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding human nature. A woman will never regret losing a man who begs to be in her life. But she will always wonder about the man who disappeared without hesitation. That's the man she can never replace. The man she'll always wonder about. 5. Mastering emotional control, unshakable resilience. Most men let their emotions destroy them. They let heartbreak consume their thoughts. They let it dictate their actions. And slowly, they turn into weak, desperate versions of themselves. But a man who understands emotional control, he becomes unstoppable. Because the truth is, emotions aren't your enemy. Your reaction to them is. Pain is inevitable. But suffering? Suffering is a choice. Right now, you have 2 choices. Let your emotions control you, or learn to control them. She expects you to break down, to fall apart, to chase after her, to seek closure, to prove your worth. And the moment you do, you validate her decision to leave. But what happens when she sees nothing? No anger, no sadness, no desperate attempts to win her back. Just calm, just focus, just a man who refuses to be broken by something as temporary as her absence. That's when she starts questioning everything. Because the ability to stay unfazed, that's the mark of a man who cannot be replaced. Women are drawn to strength, not just physical, but emotional. A man who can stay composed under pressure, who can take a loss and keep moving forward, who doesn't crumble at the first sign of rejection. That's the kind of man who earns respect. And respect is more powerful than love. Because love is fleeting, but respect lingers. It's what makes her think twice when she sees you thriving without her. It's what makes her regret ever thinking you were just another ordinary man. 6. Becoming the high-value man. The transformation begins. Right now, you feel like she took something from you. Your confidence, your sense of worth, maybe even your purpose. But here's the truth. No one can take away what you build for yourself. And if she left, it just means one thing. It's time for you to evolve. Most men spend their time trying to win her back. The high-value man, he focuses on winning himself back. That's the difference between those who stay broken and those who rise. This isn't about proving anything to her. It's about making sure that the next time she hears your name, all she feels is regret. Not because you want revenge, not because you played games, but because you became a man so rare, so powerful, so self-sufficient, that she realizes she walked away from something irreplaceable. That's the real victory. Not winning her back, but becoming so untouchable that she regrets ever leaving. So, how do you make that transformation? It's simple. Stop wasting time. Stop obsessing over her social media. Stop replaying the past in your head. Instead, build. Work on your body, your mind, your purpose. Become the man others respect, the man others desire. And when you do this, something shifts. You no longer care if she notices. And that's when she does. When she sees you thriving without her. When she realizes you don't need her validation. That's when she starts to question her decision. But by then, it won't matter. Because you will have already won. Not by playing her game, but by walking away from it completely. 7. She notices, but now it's too late. Something has changed. She can feel it. At first, she didn't think twice about leaving. She was sure, confident, maybe even relieved. But now, there's a shift. She checks her phone, waiting for a message that doesn't come. She scrolls through her social media, looking for signs you're still watching. But there's nothing. Silence, absence. And suddenly, she's the one wondering. At first, she tells herself you're just playing it cool, pretending to move on. But as the days pass, weeks, months, she starts to realize the truth. You didn't just move on. You evolved. You disappeared from her world. And the worst part, you seem happier without her. That's when it hits her. The regret, the self-doubt, the questions. Did I make a mistake? Was he the one? Why isn't he chasing me? This is the moment you've been waiting for. But here's the key part most men miss. You do nothing. No reaction. No change in behavior. No desperate moves. Because you know she's not reaching out because she wants you. She's reaching out to see if she still has control over you. And if you give her that, she'll disappear again. That's why the high-value man never looks back. Because he knows one thing. The moment someone leaves, they lose the privilege of coming back on their own terms. So when she reaches out, you won't even care. You'll be too focused on your own journey, too disciplined, too in love with the man you've become. And that's when you've truly won. 8. You've already won. The final lesson in Stoicism. The game is over. But not in the way you once thought. You used to believe winning meant getting her back, proving your worth, making her see what she lost. But now you understand the truth. Winning was never about her. It was always about you. It was about getting to a point where her presence or absence no longer affects your peace. And when you reach that point, you realize you've already won. She wanted control. She wanted to be the center of your world, even after she left. But instead of chasing, proving, or waiting for her, you walked away, not out of anger, not to manipulate, but because you realized something she never did. Real power comes from indifference. And now, the tables have turned. She's the one thinking about you, wondering if she made a mistake. But by the time she realizes what she lost, you'll be too far ahead to care. This is what Stoicism is all about. Emotional mastery. Control over the one thing that truly matters, yourself. Because in the end, nothing should have the power to shake you. Not a woman, not rejection, not even heartbreak. The man who can take a loss and still stand tall. The one who faces the storm without flinching. That's the man who is truly free. And when you become that man, you'll look back and laugh at the idea that you ever thought you needed her to complete you. She was never the prize. You were. And now you know it.